What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. And today I figured I'd just make a quick video to talk about quite possibly the biggest surprise that we have ever gotten for ReZero. And that is we just got Vincent Chansard on an episode of ReZero that nobody thought was ever going to happen. But how did this come to be? How did we even get Vincent Chansard on this episode of ReZero alone? Because as we all know, Vincent Chansard is quite possibly the most popular animator, like in animator right in anime right now. I said in animator, but in anime, he's pretty much like the most popular animator in anime right now. He's like very well known for like One Piece, his stuff with JJK. So he's very high in demand for those types of shows. So I always thought Vincent was going to be more on those tier of shows. I never thought he was going to come to ReZero because as like I still think ReZero is one of the best shows ever for anime, but I never thought he would come to ReZero because ReZero is a series that isn't really known for its fights. It's mostly well known for like its dialogue and its writing, stuff like that, and its performances especially. It's most well known for that. The fights are kind of secondary. The fights like you can get like a good like maybe one or two good fights a season. The show isn't really focused on fights. So I didn't really expect Vincent to show up. But when I was scrolling through Twitter today and or the other day, and I saw that was something tweeted out. I saw Vince. By the way, Vincent Chansard is going to be on this episode. I straight up didn't believe it because I didn't think I thought last week was going to be like the pinnacle for like action in this season because like the stuff with Garfield and Kugaron, like from what I've read, it isn't like the most well received fight in terms of ReZero. Like a lot of people didn't like it, so I was wondering how they were going to like really tackle this fight, especially since it isn't as well received as it would come to expect from a Vincent Chansard scene. But man, when that fight started, when Vincent Chansard's cut started alone, I could not believe what I was watching, man. Like Vin, this is quite possibly in my. I'm gonna say something that I did not expect to say going into this video. I think this might have been like arguably Vincent's most unique like sequence that he's ever done, in my opinion. Like the stuff that he was doing, like if you've been following Vincent's work for a while, you know that he's only evolved as more of his cuts have come out. Like stuff he's done with like Boruto and One Piece and JJK. Like that it's all he's been evolving before our eyes this whole time. So when you see the stuff he's doing in this fight with Garfield and Kugaron, like you see that dynamic camera angles, you see like the aspect ratio changing, you see the character expressions on their faces, like it you can just tell how the quality was elevated by his touch. And it's just like, man, every time you think Vincent has reached the ceiling of his talent, he puts out something like this and you realize that the ceiling is unattainable because he's just someone that is going to keep getting better with each thing they put out. And man, dude, the stuff that he did this episode, like I just said, the camera angles, everything, the voice acting, it's perfect, perfect. The voice acting accompanied the animation so perfectly, man. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. Now, I know Vincent is a busy guy, but I really hope he comes back to ReZero again for the next arc or something like that because man, and hopefully this bodes well for the future of ReZero. Because if you go on Twitter right now, everybody's talking about this fight alone. Like, so I hope that this gets the attention of more animators to come on over to ReZero, so they can be like, hey, ReZero is pretty good because you could tell Vincent Chansard had like a really good understanding of Garfield as a character. Like you could just tell the second his sequence started. You really could tell that he did his research on Garfield as a character, and I really liked that. So I really hope his sequence inspires more animators to come on over to ReZero because it's such a good series, man. I really hope more animators come over to it and are inspired by what he did this episode, because like I said, this is quite possibly the best sequence that he's ever put out. I don't know if it's the best yet. I'll have to watch this and his past and even future works to come, but for right now, man, I think this is the best one that he's ever done. And this is and like I said, this is quite possibly the biggest surprise in anime I've had in a long time. Because I saw it on Twitter that he was going to be in it, but this is one of those news drops that you don't believe until you see it. And as soon as his cut started, I knew it was him, and I lost my mind. I wish I recorded my reaction to Vincent's cut alone, because that was so good, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. But I think that's going to do it for me. How did you guys feel about quite possibly the biggest surprise that has ever come out of ReZero alone, and that's Vincent Chansard's cut? How did you feel about it? Did you love it like me? Did you not like it as much, and think it's not his best cut that he's ever put out? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.